Welcome, everyone, to our 2023 Economic Summit. I'm Mark Duggan, the Trione Director of SIEPR, the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research.
The summit is right in the heart of Silicon Valley. You know, it's just kind of a different atmosphere. This is a combination of research, policy, academics. I mean, it's fantastic having 19-year-old students mixing with, famous tech titans, policymakers, crusty old professors.
When you come to a SIEPR event, I think what you're getting is a multi-generational, cross-functional opportunity to really connect with a lot of different perspectives. There's obviously the policy perspective, there's the nerdy, wonky economics perspective, but there's also a lot of folks who are in the business, private sector, nonprofits, bringing all of their perspectives together.
I can hardly think of a better person on the planet to bring us back to the summit after a few years without it than Condoleezza Rice. So please join me in welcoming Condoleezza Rice.
One of the things I've loved about SIEPR and being involved with it is really the human interaction and coming to the events and hearing the speakers live in person and really getting to ask questions.
The benefit is to step out of what I do all day, which is like my own research, and be exposed to things that are different and broad and policy relevant, which is surprisingly not what we get a lot in academia, right? We focus too much. Having broad sort of interest policy things at quality is very difficult, and it's very well done here.
Half of Americans view China as the greatest enemy, and Chinese are thinking America is meddling in China's business. And so how did we get here? What happened? And when did the problem really start?
I rely heavily on the information that SIEPR provides regularly on economics, being in the banking industry. It's something that it's imperative, and especially in this day where things are churning economically at such a rapid pace that you really need to be current, and SIEPR provides that.
I'm here mostly to get an understanding of what my work as a student researcher, how it's applied, what it means, the real value behind doing economic research. And it definitely provides like the informal kind of mentorship for me to understand what the job market looks like outside of college.
The speakers today are from the business school, they're from Hoover, they're from the political science department, they're from Washington. As the world gets more complicated, I think what we see is the SIEPR Summit is one of these places where we bring people together.
I'm always really happy to talk about my work on the economics of longevity, and that gets me into all sorts of problems when I'm in the supermarket or the airline, but it's great to be doing it in front of this audience.
I'm involved in a session on the future of technology. It's funny, when we were planning it, maybe 9 months ago, we were thinking it would be focused on work from home. But then AI just totally has taken off as a topic, and also recently the tech slowdown. Now we're going to talk about all three.
I'll be moderating the session with Tom Barkin, the President and CEO of the Federal Reserve Bank of Richmond. These days, inflation is a huge topic, and he's a member of the Open Market Committee on the Federal Reserve, so he has really an insider view on what's going on and how the Fed is thinking about facing these challenges in the macroeconomy.
If you're following the economy closely, you know the data recently has been pretty confusing. So I thought what I'd actually just do today is talk about how I'm seeing the data and the economy and what the implications are then for inflation and for policy.
I think the first two sessions are arguably two of the best sessions we've ever had, and of all the summits. I mean, it's not my first rodeo. I've been coming to summits for 15 years, and Condi was, as usual, great. Her grasp of international issues and able to put them into understandable terms for the layman is unparalleled.
You get to hear from the very top people, like the session we just had with Nick Bloom and Karen Kimbrough and John Hennessy. They were spot on helping us understand how remote work was changing the economy, and these tools like the large language models. In fact, I was just tweeting about it because I was trying to get at least 120 characters worth of that wisdom out to the rest of people.
I think what resonated for me the most was probably President Barkin's comments, and that's because I'm a former Fed lifer. I worked at the New York Fed, so I really appreciated his perspective on the economy, the risks and challenges that monetary policy authorities face. I got to nerd out, fully nerd out.
The summit for me has been a way to look ahead and to see what is happening in the future, and to see and discuss some of the most important topics that are of importance today. I am going to go away from the summit with a lot of ideas also for my research and a lot of great connections I've made today with academics, policymakers, people who have actually a lot of ideas, an important idea to share. What a great investment to come here and be part of this summit.
I look out at my friend Mike Boskin, my friend John Chauvin, my friend Mark Duggan, and I think to myself that this community has been extraordinarily fortunate over many years in the people who have led the Stanford Institute for Economic Policy Research.
Look, when you have a day that starts off with Condoleezza Rice and is going to finish with Larry Summers, I don't think you can say anything other than it's just been an excellent, excellent program.